Hello everyone, welcome to the Project Kickoff meeting. My name is Gautam Vivek Madhusudan and I'm here to present the product launch of the Oracle Communications Session Border Controller 7600. Let's begin. Let me give you a brief insight about the company. So, Oracle Communications so far has been involved in developing software for Java and databases. Right now, they've acquired a telecommunications wing that's bent on conquering the telecommunications market. The primary competitors being Cisco, Alcatel-Lucent, and a number of other small players. So Oracle already being the leading software developing giant in the world, it's spread out into nearly 54 markets across the world in many countries. So what does the telecommunications wing include? It includes equipment and solutions. Equipments might include routers, switches, and solutions include answers to 3G, 4G, LTE. So, Oracle has right now is developing a new session border controller. Let me explain by what a session border controller means. It's basically equipment that is used to handle our needs for data, voice, and video all on one platform. So, for example, in case I'm calling someone in India, and what happens is it goes to a tower and then it goes to this equipment or session border controller, and this decides where it should go to. And say I'm browsing on my phone and I'm accessing google.com, it goes through this session border controller and it determines how many sessions it should have or how much bandwidth each web page should have. So this Oracle session border controller that is introduced right now is being called the 7600. It replaces the existing 7500. Let's move on. So what is included in this session border controller is not seen in any of the market equipment that is available right now. So, with that in mind, let me introduce the stakeholders who are involved in the making of this product. First, the CEO and CTO of Oracle Corporation, Ted Leary and Mike Ridgegard, they had the initial insight and the overview to come up with the 7500, and thus the 7600 was born. Moving on, we have Gary Neville, the Director of Operations at AT&T. He joins us from a vast background of telecommunication knowledge. He was the driving force behind the number of features implemented in the 7500. Similarly, we have Roberto Perez, who is the Senior VP of Verizon Technologies. Both Gary Neville and Roberto Perez are involved in the hardware and the software team, respectively, because they know how important the Oracle Session Border Controller is. Next, we have a number of small enterprise customers, namely the VP of Operations from Target and the VP of Operations from Wendy's. These VPs are also involved in the building of the Oracle 7600 thanks to their vast knowledge and the specific features that they deem are important for the customers. Gary Neville and Roberto Perez, AT&T and Verizon are the major stakeholders in the Oracle Communication Session Border Controller 7600 product. Oracle also serves a number of minor enterprise customers, namely Target, Wendy's, McDonald's, Costco. The difference between the major and the minor stakeholders is that the number of calls that the major stakeholders do is up to 1 million. The number of calls that the minor stakeholders do is nearly 10,000 or 20,000. This is just for example and not to be taken into context. Let's move on. So, the product scope. As I said earlier, the 7600 replaces the 7500. What is new in the 7600? It is 2 inches shorter and thinner. It is lighter and it uses less power and current when compared to the 7500. Moving on to the functional specifications, we find that it can handle 3 times more traffic than the 7500 and it doesn't need to be power cycled as frequently as the 7500. This being in a smaller size, it can be transported to various areas and can be stored in extremely hot or cold temperatures. Let's move on. So, what are the goals and objectives of this project kickoff meeting? The main goal is to launch the product, and then we, as I told everyone earlier, excuse me, Oracle has expanded into more than 54 countries and worldwide markets. Our main aim is to expand the telecommunications business into France, Germany, UK, and Spain. We already service Telefonica Germany in Germany. So, what else is left? Our market share stands at 50% of the market. This is a really commanding position, but our closest competitor, Cisco, is at 45%. In order to avoid that, I feel and I really believe that the 7600 would help us overtake them. Increase the revenue by nearly 20%. By implementing the features that our stakeholders have asked us to do, would provide would help us achieving our goals and objectives, which is 3 times more call rates and more security for the data that flows through our networks. What Oracle prides itself on being is high on quality. So what we plan to do moving forth from the 7600 is to build specific frameworks to handle defects, feedback, and risks throughout the project. We also plan to form specific teams to combat each and specific every issue by prioritizing the number of customers that we have. The major stakeholders come first and their problems and defects are fixed first, moving on to the minor stakeholders later on. Let's move on. So let me take this opportunity to introduce the project team. Myself, Gautam, I'm the project manager. So the project team is split into various sub teams: the hardware team, software team, quality assurance team, technical team, customer relations team, and the marketing team. Each and every one of these team members report to me, and I in turn report to the CEO and CTO, Frank and Mike. So the hardware team has Ryan Giggs and Annie Coit. The software team has Marco Roy and Shinji Kagawa. The quality assurance team has Maria and Daniel. Technical team has Karina and Shruti. The marketing team has Daryl and Arti. The customer relations team has Gary and Shweta. So I've given a brief overview of what each and every team member must do in his or her own team. So I would be responsible for overseeing the operations of all the other teams. I take care of all the I take care of all the communications between the team members, and I organize all the status reports at the end of the day and send them over to my CEO and CTO. I personally would have no contact whatsoever with the stakeholders unless or until the CEO and CTO are present. If I deem a feature is important or not, I choose and I only choose to approve or negate it. So moving on, the hardware team. In each and every team, the senior-most person or the subject matter expert is the team leader. So in this case, the hardware team, Annie is the team leader and Ryan responds to her. Annie makes all the decisions and Ryan follows those. So what is the hardware team based on? The hardware team designs, builds, and procures the material, and Annie reports to me every day. The software team is involved similarly. The software team writes the code, designs the test bed, implements the features, and Marco reports to me. The quality assurance team is fixed with debugging the code, troubleshooting, and writing the test cases, and Maria reports to me. The technical team, Shruti makes the decisions about building the framework, assessing the risk, and collecting the feedback, and she reports to me, while Karina follows Shruti's directions. In the marketing team, Daryl makes sure which customers are important, marketing the product, and assessing the features, and Aarti implements them. Daryl reports to me. The customer relations team is similar to what we have are the HR. Moving on. This is the communication plan, a general overview of how each and every one of us needs to communicate with one another. I feel this is fairly simple. I know this project launch would be successful and the product would be a big hit in all the markets. So please ask me any questions you feel are responsible and important. Thank you.